Hello, I'm Rebecca, a real Korean woman living in Korea. In 2021, National Geographic announced the 25 best travel destinations in the world to visit after overcoming the COVID-19 crisis. Among them, Gyeongju in Korea was included. That's not all. Airbnb, a global accommodation sharing company, also asked Americans where they want to go this year. Seoul in Korea was included among the top 10 cities. But Korea that people around the world want to visit and strongly recommend as tourist attraction is really fun and fantastic for everyone. Why your trip to Korea is not fun at all? As a real Korean woman, I'll explain the reasons why your trip to Korea is not exciting and makes you disappointed. In addition, I'll give you some advice to make your trip to Korea really fun, memorable, and enjoyable. Please watch this video to the end. There are 3 reasons why traveling to Korea is no fun. First, lack of understanding Korean culture and coming in Korea without considering the seasonal characteristics of Korea. As a result, embarrassing things frequently happen while traveling, and soon you will lose interest. I just give some tips about Korean culture. When you are invited to a Korean family, you should not go inside the house wearing shoes. This is because of the ondol culture. Ondol is a heating method that warms the entire floor. It has a long history. Since the Goryeo dynasty 1000 years ago, Korea has used these types of heating. Korea uses this traditional heating system until now. Ondol makes the whole floor warm, so you don't have to wear shoes when you enter the room. However, these days some people wear household slippers instead. Another thing is there is no tip culture in Korea, so you don't have to give some tips after receiving services in restaurant. It would be helpful when you have a meal in restaurant in Korea. And it is better you know the seasonal features of Korea in advance of your trip to Korea. Korea has clear 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. I strongly recommend you to prepare adequate clothes and make a travel plan considering the seasonal features. Usually, spring is from March to May, summer from June to August, autumn from September to October, and winter from November to February. In subsequent video, I'll talk about Korean culture in detail. Then, let's find out second reason why your trip to Korea is no fun. There are many kinds of people in the world, and every individual has different personality and preference. Boring travel plan makes boring travel. It is a natural result. Do you only take travel courses designed by travel agencies, which ignore different and various characteristics or personality we, as an individual, have? In the case, you cannot avoid a boring trip. In rare case, the plans may suit your personality, but it's more likely that the plan is not for me and by myself. Wouldn't it be more fun to go on a trip that perfectly suits me and my family rather than just going to famous places? I'll deal with it in more detail in other content, but I briefly show you some solutions here for a moment. Now, I need you to focus on. I'll suggest customized travel course based on individual taste. Since Korea is East, there must be some people who visit Korea because they want to feel the beauty of the East. Then, how about take this course? If your first destination is Seoul, I recommend you to first go to Gwanghwamun Square and then Gyeongbokgung Palace, Changdeokgung Palace, Deoksugung Palace, and nearby Insadong, Samcheongdong, and Bukchon Hanok Village and Namsan Hanok Village to experience Oriental beauty. For those who already have been to Seoul, I recommend you to go to Gyeongju, which is one of the 25 best travel destinations in the world selected by 2021 National Geographic, and experience the beauty of the Orient. If you travel to Gyeongju, visit Cheonmacheong, Daereungwon, Cheomseongdae, Anapji, and Seokguram. You feel like the whole city is a museum without a wall. If you take the KTX high-speed train from Seoul Station, it will take about 2 hours and 10 to 20 minutes to arrive in Gyeongju. If you come to Korea in the fall, after traveling in Gyeongju and the next day go to enjoy Jinju Namgang Yudong Festival, which perfectly suits your taste. The Jinju Namgang Yudong Festival is originated from the tradition of floating Yudong on the Jinju Namgang River. If you are curious about the beauty of the Orient, I recommend this course. Also, if your taste is to see the night view of Seoul or panoramic view of Seoul, I recommend you to go to this course. We'll choose among 63 building observatory. Seoul Tower located in Namsan, Namsan Park, Hanil Park, Seoul City Tour Bus, which is the 2-story bus, and Lotte Tower Observatory. These days, the trend is to shop at Lotte Tower and go to Lotte Tower Observatory. If shopping is the purpose of your travel in Korea, it is recommended to choose 2 places among Namdaemun Market, Dongdaemun Market, Myeongdong, and Lotte Tower in Seoul. In my opinion, I recommend you to visit a traditional Korean market and a modern shopping mall such as Lotte Tower. In addition, if you are a Korean music, film, and drama enthusiast, I recommend you to go to drama location set and broadcast station, especially Boinon Radio, where you can see the stars if you are fortunate enough. If you come at the right time, going to local festivals such as the Korean Drama Festival is a perfect choice. If you are not interested in anything and only focus on eating delicious food, I suggest you to visit Orient Korea's recommended restaurant in the future. As a matter of fact, restaurants in tourist attractions are not likely to be really good restaurants, and they can be very expensive compared to their taste and quality. Also, if you want to go on a special trip that only be done in Korea, I recommend visiting the Korean Demobilized Zone (DMZ). Korea is the only divided country in the world. Visiting and sightseeing the demilitarized zone on the Korean peninsula is not common. It is only possible in Korea. If you want to go on a special trip, I definitely recommend visiting the Korean Demobilized Zone. Orient Korea channel plans to tell you how to take a trip this travel course with easy public transportation. In addition, I hope you to have an exciting experience in Korea by telling you how to enjoy Korean culture and which Korean food you should eat. Orient Korea will be responsible for your wonderful and perfect Korean tour. Please subscribe and set the alarm. The third reason you travel to Korea is not fun is that you don't know the advantage of Korea. That's why you can enjoy it. I'll read a verse from a poem titled Grass Flower by a Korean poet Na Ju-tae. It takes a close look to find its beauty. It takes a long look to find its love. Same goes for you. It's exactly like Korea. When you look closer and when you look longer and more know its advantages, your travel in Korea is exhilarating and enjoyable. Korea's public security is famous for its world-class quality. Even though there is some accident once in a while, you can safely enjoy the night street and night view. Also, Korean restaurants have no tip culture and basic side dishes are provided almost unlimitedly. Thanks to the advanced internet, almost all facilities such as buildings, cafes, subway, buses, and airports are provided with free Wi-Fi. Also, the quality of public transportation is fantastic. With just one T-Money card, you can use almost all the transportation in every big cities of Korea. There is a free transport system that connects the subway to bus or bus to subway. And there are a lot of free public toilets, and they are hygienic. There will be content related to this in the future, which help you find other advantages of Korea. If you make use of these advantages, you can have an interesting and unforgettable trip in Korea. So far, I explained why your trip to Korea is not fun. Let's organize it quickly again. First, if you do not know Korean culture and seasonal characteristics of Korea, you may lose interest at the moment. Second, you do not find any fun in your trip because it is not customized to your taste. In other words, you go some tourist spot because it's a place where many people go, or because it's a travel plan unilaterally set up by your travel agencies. Third, when you don't understand Korean strengths, you can enjoy Korea properly. From now on, Orin Korea will provide informative and interesting information to all interested in Korea. Subscribe and alarm setting are love. This is Rebecca, a real Korean woman. That's it.